You guys guaranteed your work. You gave us a warranty. The good communication you guys had.
The speed and quality.
Yeah, the speed and the quality.
I want to kind of talk about this. Has been 2 years, 2.5 years.
Almost
since
2.5 years. Yep.
What kind of, when you were thinking of doing this, what kind of made you think to do pavers in your backyard versus, let's say, doing any other sort of other product?
The concrete, I've had bad experiences with it cracking, and up here they don't put the rebar in it like they do in California, and the pavers just look so much nicer than just plain concrete.
That we had heard that up here, because of the way that the permafrost and the way that the ground is, that pavers are more apt to be able to flex and move instead of having to worry about with the concrete.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And so, obviously, you decided you want to do pavers. Did you know up front exactly how you wanted the design to be, as far as how much area you wanted to fill in here? What kind of, ultimately, you put a lot of pavers in your backyard. What kind of made you decide to do that versus, having a bunch of planter beds, or, what was the thought process there, maybe?
Less maintenance for the hardscape.
We were thinking less maintenance because we didn't bring our lawnmower with us, and we didn't want to have to do any of the extra yard work. We did only have the one area over there where we put in the planter, so we could still have some. And then you guys left us spot on the end, so I could have my Japanese maple. Yeah. We kind of had that thought process. The more that was covered, the better.
We kind of had an idea, and Randall came out and kind of drew it out on the ground, and we spent probably a couple hours with him, and he came back and put it all on the computer and brought it back to us and showed us the design, and we made a few adjustments on it and agreed upon it. And
yeah.
So the design process, was that something Randall did? Was it over a couple-day process, or how did that all transpire?
It took him about a week, and he got it all drawn out on his iPad and brought it over and brought the quote, and showed us.
Yeah.
Went from there.
And then we also did 2 phases. So we did the first phase, which was the big section, and we still weren't sure what we wanted to do on that side. And then that was when Randall, we came back again. It's like, okay, we're thinking if we just did like a river rock, a slight bed for some plants on that side, and then do the pavers that matched over here for the steps. And then we saw another neighbor that had done the walkway, and we just didn't like it was the aggregated rock. So we wanted it to flow, come all the way through. So that's why we have a really good flow from the driveway, the walkway, to the steps, and then all the way to the.
And you obviously had multiple contractors to look at this, right?
Yep.
What was kind of maybe how many contractors did you have, if you remember? And then what was kind of the deciding factors on moving forward with Sta-Built?
I want to say we got 2 to 3 different bids. And the biggest thing was that you guys guaranteed your work. You gave us a warranty. And a lot of the other companies that we were talking with weren't giving any warranty. It was just once the work was done, you were stuck with what you got.
Did we come in, can you remember, did we come in kind of middle pack, the most expensive, the least expensive? Do you know how much price played into this project?
I would say you guys also gave us the option of whatever pavers we wanted. Yeah, a lot of the other bids were the small pavers, and if we wanted anything like the big steps, it was going to be extra. Whereas you guys were like, it doesn't matter what you pick, we're going to do this much for the whole process. And that was another big selling part for us, was that we weren't going to have to pay extra to have bigger pavers.
Okay.
Then Randall took us out to the.
We met them out at West Lock, and we could see what they had.
Yeah.
And then also with the brochure that you guys use, it gave you a lot of the patterns. And so we knew that we wanted the random 5. Mm-hmm. We knew we wanted the soldiers. We knew that it was all explained to us really well, with the combination of what the supplies, getting to meet actually at the manufacturers that makes the pavers. That was good. And a lot of the other ones, you didn't get to meet with them. They just had whatever they had.
Do you remember how many times Randall came out here before you had it finalized and you moved forward with the contract?
Twice.
Twice.
Okay.
Once was the first time to take measurements, and the second time was with the drawing and the bid, and that was it.
And then in between, you communicate back and forth like email, calling, and texting.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then there's the app that you guys have, and that was really good communication, because if I ever had any questions, I could just email it or text the message to the thing, and the team would come back to us.
How did you guys understand what colors to pick out? Because there's a ton of colors. What kind of helped you determine?
The brochure also had a lot of the different colors that we could pick, and then we just knew what we would like that kind of would fit into the natural terrain here.
What was your experience in the installation part? Let's say post the contract being signed, the process working with Sta-Built. What would you say that process was like? Working with us after you agreed to go ahead with the project.
All of the timelines were met.
I
Yeah.
was surprised for how fast it was because they did 1,300 square feet of pavers and they were done in 7 days. And everybody, even people in the neighborhood, was surprised for how big it was and how fast it was done.
Yeah, and then during the process, the team that was out here doing the work, they kept everything clean. Everyone, the neighbors were commenting because we had the back walkway that they were using at points. They never left a mess. No one could even tell their yard was being worked on, and they never imposed into any of the common areas that would have disturbed our neighbors. So that was a big. All of our neighbors were commenting how quick they did it, how much they cleaned up every evening. That you can even tell that they did.
So obviously, you referred us to a lot of people, and you've been really amazing that way. What about us made you want to refer us? What specifically could you tell when you're telling other people why they should use us? What about us?
The quality of the work and how fast it was done.
And that you guys were young, and you were pretty much starting up, best friends that went to school together. This was like a senior project for you guys to start with, and that you guys have been building the business from the ground up. And you guys weren't a big commercial chain business, but small local people, and we like to support local. That was another thing, that you guys were local and that you were a small company.
Yeah. So if you were to tell maybe one of your neighbors coming over, they just bought a new house and they just had that same backyard that needs landscaping or needs the hardscape done, what would be some expectations that they should have going into a project like this, working with Sta-Built?
I don't know, you guys made the process so easy with giving the information up front, being able to bounce the ideas, getting an idea of the drawing. We had an idea of the timeline, and everything was met. I mean, it was explained really well from the beginning, I think, from the whole process.
So if you said one of the deciding factors was the warranty, how important would you say moving forward when you tell people when they're looking for a contractor, how important is it to have a warranty? And if a contractor is not offering a warranty, what does that tell you?
That they're not standing behind their work if they're not guaranteeing with the warranty. And I have to say, talking to the other people, a lot of them have done work, like I said, they don't have the warranty. So if something goes wrong, they're like, now what do I do? Do I have to pay someone else to come back in to fix it? Or am I going to have to pay additional fees to have them come back and fix it? So that was a big selling point for us. And a lot of people that we have recommended and that have used you, it's the same thing, is no one else was offering the warranty.
Did you at all entertain financing options when you were working with us? Was that anywhere in the picture? Or did you know about our financing options?
We did know about the financing options, but we weren't going that route.
Okay.
We just paid for it.
Yeah.
It was paid for.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was done. It was kind of done in installments. It was a little bit at the beginning when so much of the work was done, and then when it was completed. So it was done in phases, just like normal construction building that I'm used to.
Yeah. What other feedback or any other information about the process? Maybe after the job was even done. Any other feedback that you could just add or explain that might be helpful for maybe somebody else, like a consumer on the other end, wanted to make a big purchase like this? As you know, it's a huge outlay of money, and so that's obviously something people got to understand too. But
I'm not sure. I mean, it is an investment, but this is we're considering this our final home, and with the quality of the workmanship that we got, we know that we made the right choice.
I'll follow up on that. So since you know this is an investment into your home, has this made an impact on how you entertain, like being able to versus what you had before? Has this made an impact on your entertainment, anything like that?
Yeah, she does. They have the ladies' night that they get together on Thursdays, and we've had the whole group come
We've got
over
up to-
to our
We've got up to 10
backyard.
people just in this area, just relaxing and enjoying it.
Then when we opened it up for the patios on parade for everybody to come and see, we probably had 50 people in the backyard at one point.
Wow.
And then
And there's still plenty of room. And as you can see, we kind of sectioned it off with, if we are entertaining, we have places to eat, we have places to sit and relax throughout the whole yard. So it's kind of little
That's awesome.
zones.
Yeah. So the water feature, when did that come into the picture? Did you know you wanted a water
Yep.
feature all along, or?
Yeah, I wanted a water feature all along. Most of the ones, we are one of the only residents probably in this whole neighborhood that have the waterfall. All of them have bubblers.
some bubblers that come up the rock.
And I wanted something different. I like the sound of the waterfall better than the bubblers. And this was the first one you installed on this.
Yes.
And everybody loves it because, and then you guys, people think the added seating bench that we had put on there, you guys did such a good job putting that together that people think it's part of it. They don't realize where the fountain stops and where the bench is.
Awesome. So how's the maintenance been on that water feature?
I put
Some
like shock in it a couple times to help with the allergy, and that's about it.
In the winter, do you have any certain amount of you have to drain it, or is it
No,
even in this crazy freezing weather we've had it?
no, we just
no issues. You know, like I said, just a little bit of shock to help. You know,
keep the
the water's always stayed clear. It hasn't changed colors. You know, you just pay attention to it because you'll be able to tell when it starts getting low. Because the water will look like it won't be clear.
Yeah.
It'll look like foggy.
We haven't had
starting to get low. There's more water in it.
yeah, we haven't cleaned it out or anything.
You did the circle inlay into your patio.
Yep.
Where did that idea come from? And why did you want to do a circle inlay? And how hindsight looking back, you've done it again?
Yes.
Yes.
we should have done it again. We just wanted
we
it,
knew we were going to put a fire pit in.
so we wanted
wanted
that circle.
a different section just for the fire pit area.
Yeah, so we had that in our vision that we wanted to have. We saw it, and again, the brochure someone had one of those. I'm like, ooh, I want one of those.
Yeah.
And that would be a perfect place. I could just see our fire pit and our furniture out there.
If you were to use 3 words to describe Sta-Built, what 3 words would you use to describe us? Let's say somebody was limiting you to only 3 words.
That's hard.
I would think customer service, because you had excellent customer service.
Pricing and the warranty.
Okay. Awesome. You mentioned the warranty a lot, so I think that's come up. And actually, amazing today. That's come up quite a few different times. Warranty. So I think it's
Because I know we had one of the neighbors was saying that there's one other landscaping company that does a lot of work in here, and none of their work is unique. Everything is the same papers. It's the same design.
It's like you bought it in
Bulk.
bulk.
Oh,
And this is the paper I used, and this is the paper you're going to get.
And as I said, they had
Anything
no
else,
choice.
You're going to have to pay more for
Yeah.
it.
We weren't given a choice of color, nothing. And that's the thing. And so we were talking to him, and he goes, yeah, he actually made the guy that did his work give him at least a 1 year warranty, because he was going to give him nothing.
wow.
And then a lot of them are really pushed for cash prices at the time. You're willing to accept that your way isn't perfect,
Yeah.
and you're constantly making improvements to the process.
Yeah.
And that's
But
what's
not
going to make
afraid
you
of
stand.
change.
Yeah.
That's going to make you stand above anybody, is that you're constantly improving your processes, and that you're always worried about making sure the customer is taken care of. That will really make a difference.
That's awesome. Yeah.